Hello everyone, this is Agaya Rajat from Rain Studios. So Linux has been sitting right at the very center of our developer workflows and servers. So even if you want to write some systems, you can use Linux, and if you want to deploy code to your servers, you are going to use Linux at the end of the day in case you are not a diehard fan of Windows. So it is almost Linux as far as servers are concerned. So since Linux is so prevalent, I thought that it would be a great idea to record a video about familiarizing ourselves with the Linux command line interface or the terminal, which we can use to do several things with the Linux operating system. And in this video we are going to learn about the Linux file system and how we can navigate around the file system, and we can do several basic stuff with the Linux command line interface. Okay, so let's get started. Before I start the video, make sure to subscribe to this channel in case you are interested in learning more about the full stack stuff, because I think that I am going to upload more and more videos about the full stack development, how you can write the code, how you can deploy the code, and how you can make your code look pretty as far as front end is concerned. So I'm going to cover all of those things on this YouTube channel. So make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel and give this video a thumbs up, and make sure to watch this video till the end, because by the end of this video you will feel pretty confident about your Linux skill as far as using that command prompt is concerned. So let's get started. So first of all, we'll have to learn a little bit about Linux file system. So let me open this diagram for you guys. So the Linux file system is arranged as a tree. So at the very start of this tree, or the root of this tree, starts with this /. So every single file and directory. So there are two types of entities in Linux file system. The first one is a directory which contains other type of entities known as files, and it can also contain other directories. So there are two entities, namely files and directories. So everything starts at this /. So this is the root directory which contains all of your files arranged in whatever fashion. So let's suppose this / or the root directory contains two folders. The first one is the TMP folder and the second one is the home folder. TMP in turn also contains two files. The first file is an image file and the other file is a text file.md. MD files are basically markdown files. Okay, so you can specify extensions, and extension can actually help other programs in deciding what kind of file it is actually looking at. So if you are going to throw a .jpg file to a program which is built for opening images, it can readily detect that it can open this sort of file, or it can be used for opening this sort of files. So extensions help us and the computer programs in deciding that whether it can open certain type of file and what kind of file it can be without even opening. Okay, so if we talk about this image.jpg, it is located at this one particular path, and this path is created by concatenating all of the directories that are falling in between these two things, that is the root directory and the file itself. So since there is only one TMP directory, so the path is going to be /temp then /image.jpg. Now you use this / to separate files from directories. So if something is located, like this document is located inside home and YouTube, so the path is going to be /home, because this is a home directory, and then home directory in turn also consists another directory, that is YouTube. So it is going to be /YouTube/document. Okay, so this is an absolute path of your document directory. Okay, so let's get back to our terminal. Talking about absolute path, you can also search the files that are located in your current directory using the relative path. So let's see, like, this is the directory I am currently in. To list down the current working directory, you can type in the command pwd, that is present working directory. It is going to tell you where you are at present moment in your file system. So we are at home YouTube, as you can see here, right? So this is the absolute path. Now if I am going to write ls, which is a command for listing all of the content of this directory, I am going to get this sort of list, right? So these are all the folders that are located inside my YouTube directory. Okay, so if I want to go to the documents directory, I don't really have to list down the absolute path so that I can go to that directory. I can just use the relative path. Okay, so for going to this document directory, I will have to use the cd command. That is a command or an abbreviation for change directory. Then I'm going to type documents. Okay, and as you might have noticed that I haven't used this notation, since this is the exact or the absolute path of this directory, because I am currently in a parent directory which hosts this directory. So I can use the relative notation in which I can actually drop this prefix home YouTube from the absolute path. So this is going to be the relative path. It means it is relative to my present working directory, that is YouTube. Okay, so pressing enter will take me directly inside this document folder. Now to again list the content, I can press these keys and I will get to see the content of this directory listed on my screen. Okay, also you can customize the output using several options every command that Linux support has. Now the options can vary from command to command, but most of the commands in Linux have several options which you can use to customize the behavior of that one particular command. Now let's suppose I also want to list down who is the owner of this file. It means that you must be aware of the fact that Linux is a multi-user environment. So a file can be created by one user and it can be used by another user. So we can have many users using the same system. Okay, so to list down the users and the creation date, we can use ls-l. So this is an additional option you can use with the list command, and it is going to give you these many details. Now if you can notice that we have got this hyphen right at the very start of our lines. So this hyphen represents that it is a file. In case it is a directory, we will be having a D character over here. To give you an example, let me go back to my previous directory. To go back to it, you can use like cd and ... which represent the directory just above your present working directory. Now currently your present working directory is /home/youtube/documents. So if you type cd ... it will take you to a directory one level above documents, and that is our /home/YouTube. Okay, so we are again inside /home/YouTube. So we are going to list down the content of this directory with even more options that I have used T and R. So it is going to print even more information now. All right. Turned out it actually, printed less information. Okay. Not an issue. You can always learn more about these commands. Okay. And let me just, so as you can see that we have got these D's right in front of our lines, right? So these D's actually represent that these are all directories, not regular files. This one is a regular file and it does not have this D sitting at the very start of this line, right? So you can make a distinction between our two entities, those are files and directories, using this presence of D and not, right? So now you know how to navigate around the file system using the cd command. But what if you want to create a new directory or a new file? To create a new directory, you type mkdir, that is an abbreviation for make directory. Then you are going to provide the name of your directory. So let it be test. Okay. And here you go. So let's check that we have successfully created test or not. So you can do ls and -ltr. And as you can see that we have got test, right? We can cd to it. Now you can also create regular files. To create a regular file, you can use a command like touch and then you can create a regular file. Okay, so there is going to be nothing inside this file as of now. Now to edit this file, you can use several programs like Vim or VI editor, and there is also one more editor, Nano, but I am very comfortable with Vim and I think that it is a good option for our text editor. So you can open this file using Vim. In case you don't have Vim installed on your system, you can install on Ubuntu using this command. Okay, I already have this Vim installed on my system, so that is not an issue here. So you can edit the content of this file using Vim. All right, and I can write, and in case you are not aware of Vim, maybe I'll record a video about how to use Vim. Just let me know in the comment section that you want to learn more about this Vim editor. So we have written to our text file and let's try to list down the contents of our present directory. So as you can see that we have got one regular file inside our test directory. Okay. Now you can also print the content of your files using cat command. So cat, and then you are going to write tex. Now I am going to give you a little tip about how you can autocomplete. So if you write some initial character which match the file's name, you can press tab key and this will autocomplete in case it actually finds something starting with those set of characters. So as I wrote tex and then I pressed the tab key, it actually found this text file which had tex as the starting sequence of characters, right? So you can cat the text file to print the content of your file. Okay, so this is the content of my file. All right, you can also try to open jpg files or webm file, but those files are going to print several hundred lines of gibberish, because those are binary files. Those are not supposed to be opened using this cat command, but still in case you want to open those files using cat command, you can do it, but at the end of the day you would not be able to understand what is written in those files. Okay, so now you know how to list down the content of any file. Okay, also let's talk about finding things, right? So let's suppose we are in our /home/YouTube directory. Okay, so we have got these many folders here, and let's suppose you are trying to look for folders which are starting from the letter D. So you can combine many commands in order to get your output. So if you are going to do ls, then -l, and then you are going to apply the pipe. So this pipe actually pipes your output of this ls-l command to the other command, and the other command which we are going to use is grep or grep. Then we are going to provide this command with a pattern it can look for in its input, and its input is going to be the output of this ls-l command. So all of this thing is going to be the input for our grep or grep command. Now we can provide the pattern and let it be D. So as you can see that it has filtered all of the content which contains D. Okay, so these are all our folders, right? Also you can use the find command to search the content. All right, so let me go back to the previous directory. To go back to the previous directory, you can use this notation cd space hyphen. So this will take you directly to the previous directory you were in. Okay, so we are back into our test folder and we have got this text file here. All right, now if we want to find something, we can use this find command, and then we are going to provide the name of the file we are trying to find. Okay, and then we are going to provide the directory this find command should operate in. To specify the current or the present working directory, we use this notation single dot. So I told you that using double dot you can represent a directory which is just above your present working directory, and in order to represent your current or present working directory you can use the single dot. Okay, so as you can see it hasn't find anything related to this text file. Okay, so but we can try to find text file. Okay, because it is located in our folder, and as you can see that it has found this text file. So I have not gone all in with this one particular command because I want you guys to experiment with that, and in case you want to learn more about any command, in case you are not very knowledgeable about certain commands, we can use the manual pages to learn more about the functionality of the particular command. How can we do it? We type in man for manual pages, then we are going to type in the command's name. So in our case we are going to find more information about the find command, because we certainly at this point are not aware of what many things can be achieved using this command. All right, so press enter and then you will be taken to this kind of post where you can learn more about what find actually does using this description. I'm sorry, and then you can learn more about the options, and it is a scrollable post, so you can press enter and learn more about the command. So I'm going to leave finding things as an exercise for you guys to complete. Okay. All right. So to get out of this post, you can type in Q and you will be taken directly back to your terminal. All right. Also, there are hidden files. I mean, you can hide some files from getting listed using the ls command. In case you want to create some hidden files, you can just put a single dot before the name of your file. So if I want to create a secret file, I'm going to name it .secret file. So it will not be listed when I try to list the content of the directory using this ls command, right? So nothing about the secret file is visible, right? As you can see that you cannot just query the hidden files, right? In case you want to list the hidden files as well, you can use this ls-a for listing every single file that is there in the directory. So as you can see that we have got our secret file listed now, right? So, and these are the symbols for present directory and the directory just right above our present directory. All right. So now you have learned how Linux file system works, how you can navigate around the file system, how you can list the content of files, how you can create files using touch command, and how you can list the content of files using cat command, how to create hidden files. I think with these many tools under your belt, you are pretty much ready for using Linux as your full-time operating system, because you can do many things using all of these basic commands. In case you are unaware of certain things about certain commands, you can always use the main pages to figure out how to do certain stuff using the terminal, right? And I also recorded a video about this one particular website which you can use to learn more about the options of your shell commands, and maybe you want to check that video out as well. So with this much thing, I think you are fertile enough and you can do many kind of server related things using your command line interface on Linux subsystems. Linux systems. I'm just, all of this Linux subsystem about this window thing is going in my mind lately. I don't really know why that is happening, but still. So this is your guy Rajat Saxena signing off. Take care. Bye-bye. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up in case you learned something new today.